Wrestling is a warrior sport where it's you and it's that other guy, and you guys are just fighting to see who is the conqueror, to see who is the lion, to see who's the alpha of that match. When I first started wrestling, I started wrestling when in middle school, but then I ended up spraining my back, and it was awful. And I really wanted to wrestle, but I couldn't because my back was so sore and so sprained. I had to have like 2 months of physical therapy, and it really drained me out. But then I started wrestling again in high school in my ninth grade year. But then I quit because I wanted to see how I would fit in ROTC. I fit well, but that's not what I really wanted to do. I wanted to be physical. I wanted to be more athletic. I wanted to do a sport. So whenever wrestling season came around, I was just focused on that. And there's two people that really inspired me. It was Jordan Burroughs and Eric Thomas. There was this one video I watched almost every day before school. It was a wrestling video, and I was so inspired by Jordan. I even got the same shoes as him. You know, it was the red and gold and blue. I love the shoes. My dad had got them for me. Yeah, they were just like his shoes. And then before practice, I would listen to Eric Thomas, and I would listen to him give his motivational speech, and it would get me pumped. And before practice, and it was really inspiring, and I think that's what really got me through it. In wrestling, it really changed my mentality, because when I started wrestling in my 10th grade year, I really wasn't focused on grades. I was still, dumb. I wasn't focused. I didn't have a game plan, but wrestling really helped me in my mentality to have a game plan for life. Starting with my 11th grade year, my grades got better. I started to get a little bit better, but 11th grade was really hard because I was going through a lot, and my family was in trouble. I didn't want to lose anyone. My mom, she was very sick. She was very ill, but I would stay with her. But I would also still go to practice. I would also try to get grades right. So it was a lot going on. So I really didn't wrestle that many matches. But I think I had at least just two pins that year, and it was bad. My teammates were not very good teammates. That's all I can say. And the coach, he never really believed in me. He kind of just gave someone the spot, not giving me a chance, not even giving me a wrestle-off. Wrestle-offs are when two people go against each other to see who's on varsity. There was one year where I didn't even get that chance to prove myself. But later on I did, and I still ended up losing. So, but in my senior year, my teammates, I loved every single one of them. Yeah, but the coach was still, we had got a new coach, and he was still, he was really, he was really bad. I really didn't like him. And there was one point where I didn't like him so much where I was gonna quit. And it was a sport that I loved, and the coach pushed me that hard to a point where I just wanted to quit. It just wasn't physically pushing me, it was mentally pushing me. He was an ass. He was an ass. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. He was an ass. And he treated everyone with respect, but he didn't treat his senior with respect. And it's his fault. And he didn't really believe in me. So when sectionals came around, like this is my first time in sectionals, and no one thought I was gonna go the next level. No one thought I was gonna be the only one that went to districts, right? And You know, in the past, someone told me like, you know, one day you'll be able to step up on that podium, and kind of mocking me, kind of telling me like, he's gonna step on that podium, but I'm just telling him that just so he won't feel bad. But in the end, I ended up stepping up on that podium, and whenever somebody would bring me down in practice, or when the coaches wouldn't believe in me, I would just keep saying to myself like, that greatness takes time, and in time, throughout the 3 years, I got better and I got better and I got better, and my mentality changed every single year. I was more obsessed with it every single year. So the last match I won, it was at sectionals, and that was before the match that took me to districts. It was probably one of the best matches I've had, because not because of the physicality, but more mentally, because I had got this shirt because I knew in my heart and soul that I was going to go to districts. So I had got this shirt, this said sectionals champions. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna go hard, I'm gonna win. So I got that shirt, and after I won that match, I put that shirt on and I just said to myself, like, greatness takes time, and in time I got where I wanted to be. It was no one really believing in me. The best part about that match, I think it was my mom and one of my teammates just screaming in the background, like, go Aaron, go Aaron.
Come on. No, 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 no. Oh! Come on, Aaron! Go, Aaron!
It was amazing. I loved it so much. I just heard him in the background, and it was, oh man, it was one of the best matches I've had. About my senior year it was going to districts, but the best part about that was I had sprained my collarbone and my shoulder, and I was out for like a month. And while the trainer was telling me that I was probably going to be out for the rest of the season because it was so bad, I was kind of in tears because it was my senior year, and I didn't want to go out like that. I didn't want to go out and practice, but I worked really hard on my shoulder and my collarbone. It still kind of hurts till today, and but there was a point where it felt good enough to where I can go back to wrestling. I ended up lying to my doctor and saying, yeah, I'm fine, just so I can get back on that mat, just so I can wrestle, just so I can fight that fight, you know? And that was the best part. The best part was that me coming up from that injury. You know, even like in the past, when the season was over, we had these award ceremonies, and for my 10th and 11th grade year, I had won Porker of the Year. Porker of the Year was having the most body fat because I was the heavyweight. It was really demeaning, especially when my family was there. You know, even if I didn't get any award, I still wanted them to be there. But getting that Porker of the Year award was demoralizing, and I hated it so much. But I kept it because as a reminder that to never give up, and it inspired me every time I looked at it. So when my senior year came around, and we had that same award ceremony, there was this MVP. You know, I was going against this one guy. I was pretty sure he was gonna get it because he had won a lot more matches than me. But since I was the only one that went to districts, I was named that MVP. And honestly, the best part about this whole entire wrestling career was literally starting from nothing and coming back from injuries, back to back from injuries, and not having very good teammates, not having very good coach, having a sick mom, and just everything. I was going through a lot. Every single year, I was going through something, and looking at the Porker of the Year award and looking at that MVP medallion, it's like I came from just this piece of paper that said I had the most body fat to this medallion. That said I was that MVP. I was the best that year. I was the best that year, and it was. I think that was the best part of my whole entire wrestling career. It wasn't winning matches. It wasn't practice. It was me coming back from everything that I went through.